Okay, my last video tonight, because I'm getting tired, is going to be on emergency evacuation kits. Lots of people don't think these, and I think that's quite silly, especially when you have really exotic birds and you live in places where you're a little bit more prone to natural disaster. I live way up north in Canada, so we get a lot of freezing, we get a lot of actually, weirdest thing we had a couple years ago was a sonic boom where the winds were blowing, we had trees everywhere, boats halfway uptown. It was nuts. Fires, tornadoes, if you live really close to the ocean, you never know. Tsunamis, they're everywhere nowadays. So keep these things in mind. They're really important if you need to get out, like, now. So I'm going to go over all the things that you should have in your kit. The first thing is food and water. You should have enough food in your cage to last you about 3 to 5 days, I would think. That'll give you enough time to get somewhere and to find a place where you can either settle down, or if you can't settle down into a friend's house or a hotel that will take birds, you'll have enough time to go and find somewhere that you can find your preferred bird food. I keep a week in my evacuation kit because we live so far up north and I have to order my food in, so I know that I'm not going to find it anywhere around here. Water, obviously. I keep 2 liter pop bottle. Well, it's not a pop bottle, it's actually a sealed bottle of water in there, because if we do have a freezing and it gets so cold that I can't turn on the taps, or if I'm at a center, like say the rec center, which is a really open space that could be used if there was a fire, and the water there isn't all that great, you have water, so you don't have to worry about water. Next is toys. Chances are you're not going to be able to pack up your bird's cages in these emergencies, so you're going to need extra toys so that you can give your bird something to do while it's stuck in the middle of nowhere without its cage. I would say a toy per bird, so no one's jealous. Carry cages are very important. You should always know where they are. I have a little one that I use to bring home my little guy. I have a cat carrier that is used just for my birds. I can fit the 4 cockatiels in there comfortably. They don't like to be separated, so I do prefer to keep all of them together if anything were to happen. And for my Western Rosella, or Eastern Rosella, jeez, I gotta stop calling her Western Rosella because she isn't. For my Eastern girl, I have a smaller cage that I use because she is a wild bird and I cannot physically get my hands on her. So what I will do in an emergency is, and I have done this before to move her from place to place, I hold the smaller cage up to her original cage and I have somebody stand behind the cage and kind of shoo her in. And this smaller cage is easier for me to transport around, and it's a lot less stressful for her. It's a cage that she can see everybody, and it's big enough that she can move around in. For bigger birds like macaws and cockatoos and Amazons and the like, you'll probably be best off with a cat carrier. They're easy to find, they're pretty inexpensive, and you can tailor them for a bird. Next, you should have a list of vet numbers. If anything were to happen, you should have a number for your vet, for poison control, for any other like emergency department you can think of, the fire, the police. That way you have these things right there. You know, if you don't already have them somewhere, you have a second copy. So if you were ever rushed out of your house and you grab your emergency kit, hey look, there's your vet number. Along with your vet number, which would make a lot of sense to have, is a first aid kit. I have 2. I have one that stays in my room, and I have one that stays in my emergency evacuation kit. just in case. You never know. You could be transporting somebody and somebody bites off a toe because they're scared, or plucks some feathers, gets scratched on something, somebody falls. It happens. Have a first aid kit. Next, you should have a list of people who will willingly take any amount of your birds if something should happen that you can't find a place that will take in your birds. You can even go as far as knowing rescues in areas around you in case it's a long-term thing. I have an agreement with a friend of mine. She will take all of my birds if anything were to happen that I cannot be inside my house and I cannot bring them with me. I can also talk to my breeder, who lives quite a while away, but if it was a long-term thing, it's fine. I also know a rescue in a town close to me, which is another place that would help me out. So it's good to know where they can go, but for sure have a few friends, families, that will definitely take them, like, right now. Pillowcases are something that I keep in my emergency kit too. As bad as it sounds, pillowcases are really good if you need to get your bird separated from the rest of them, or if a bird takes off while you're trying to get it into the carrier and it just won't go into the carrier. They're good for catching birds, and they're pretty lightweight. You can also use them to put in the cages if they decide that they're feeling shy, or if they're cold. They're nice to have. I also put in my my little box Majic sacks. They are really cool. They're filled with rice, and when you heat them, they stay warm for quite a bit of time. And I keep these with me because I do have smaller birds and they don't handle the cold very well. So if I happen to be somewhere that has, say, a barbecue or some other heating device, if there is no power, I can stick it in a barbecue on really, really, really low and it'll heat up. And at least it'll be warm enough to keep them warm until something else can be done. As well, they can be stuck in the pillowcases if they're really hot. Another thing that kind of goes with the food is dried fruit, dried veggies. They'll stay good for quite a bit of time. There is a brand, a specific brand that I use. It's called the Just. So just carrots, just peas, just strawberries, just bananas. My birds like them. I like them, actually. I munch on them too. And it gives your bird something else to eat if they are used to eating fruit and you can't get fruit like right now. So these are all the things. I'll name them off again and I'll put them in the description. Food, water, cages, little cages to bring people around it, toys, emergency numbers like your vet, your fire department, your police department, your poison control, and any houses that you can bring your birds, pillowcases, Majic sacks if you need them, and definitely, definitely, definitely a first aid kit. Hope you learned something. Learning is cool. Stay in school, because you learn things. So hope you enjoyed my video, and I hope you learned things. And I'm going to say it again and again and again. So get used to it.